Hi everyone, my name is Mousa Jari. I'm a PhD student in Newcastle University. Also, I'm a lecturer at King Saud University in Saudi Arabia. Today, I'll talk about my paper, which is a short version of my current experiment. So, the title of the paper is an overview of phishing victimization, human factors, training, and the role of emotion. Phishing is a form of cybercrime and the threats that allow criminals or phishers to deceive end users in order to steal their information. Attackers usually attempt to manipulate the psychology and emotions of victims. So in this paper, we explore the emotional factors that have been reported in previous studies to be significant in phishing victimization. Also, we will compare what security organizations and researchers have highlighted in terms of phishing types, training, and other human factors that is a part of phishing victimization. First, I'll talk about the types of phishing according to research studies and security organization. One study by Fernal and his colleagues highlighted 4 major types of cybersecurity of phishing, which includes spear phishing, clone phishing, whaling, and pork phishing. In spear phishing, specific individuals or companies are targeted using a tailored message. In this type of scam, the attacker is more likely to have some background information about the target, which is make it easy to target the victim, based on which this message that is created become more convincing and successful in deceiving the victim or the reception. Clone phishing attackers make use of a valid email that contains a link or attachment and retain the contents of the actual message. However, the embedded link attachment is replaced with a malicious file so that the original sender is spoofed the victim. In bulk phishing occurs when there is no specific target or specific message. So the approach employed instead is to send to bulk emails to as many users as possible, and success of their kind of scam depends on such large scales mailing, where a sufficient large of number reception mistakenly believe that email is genuine and relevant to them. Regarding security organization, have categorized phishing in different ways, but major for overlap with the main 4 majors indicated about in the previous research. Reported by US Federal Trade Commission, Surveillance, Self-Defense, and Get Safe online groups, and also phishing.org specified 40 majors phishing, include spear phishing, session hijacking, emails, spam, content injection, website delivery, etc. The common elements on all these phishing categorized provided by security organization and some researchers is that the attackers use emails or voicemail or SMS to accomplish their attack and to do phishing. Regarding training and increasing awareness, one study, how can people be trained to stay safe from phishing? So every paper have given different techniques and different awareness messages. In one study, they considered training which might mitigate the impact of phishing attacks, focusing on the mindfulness techniques. The project aimed to provide participants with blend mindfulness training techniques and rule-based approach so that they could respond to phishing attacks more effectively. They test the effectiveness of this training, and a dummy phishing attacks was launched, directed toward fiction websites where they were asked to enter their university account. The results indicate that graphic and text-based training format was equally successful in decreasing participant susceptibility to phishing. Another research, they have explored the training models that can work best against phishing. The researchers indicate that raising awareness through facts and advice training and storytelling works better in combining phishing, but some of professional security experts believe it's need to be delivered by a trained and expert to be more effective. Also, they noted that not all of these lessons helped to avoid falling into phishing. The conclusion drawn in this survey and by Jari paper, number of significant recommendations as follows. Providing any new knowledge in order to be up to date is important. The security education that should be a part of curriculum needs to be updated, and it should cover both new technologies and information about sophisticated phishing threats and attacks. Security education must impart knowledge related to technical and non-technical attacks. The design of the security education should be based on input relevant to stakeholders, organizations, teachers, and IT and security professionals, since their experience, skills, and knowledge can help in covering a wide range of security topics. The adoption of more interactive way of teaching and learning methods can be quite helpful in making both security learning and teaching interested and effective. The role of emotion in phishing victimization. One paper emphasized the role of emotion in their research, explaining that manipulation of emotion is generally found to be prime target of phishing. They discuss an interesting type of phishing, which is called farming, where they develop a relationship between the victim and continues to obtain relevant information, so it's easily to be targeted. This activity or this method conduct in 4 phases. First one is gathering information or information gathering, which involves collecting the necessary information and create relationship with the potential victim. Second phase is based on developing the relationship, so coordinating and communicating with the victim and building trust connection between them. Third phase, explanation. They start manipulate and deceive the victim to obtain the necessary information and sensitive data. The final phase is execution, where the attacks using their information to do a phishing and to be benefit from this information. Human factors in phishing victimization. We highlighted some research in this survey. So once researcher cited various aspects of the human psyche, which play a role in phishing victimization. First one, replication, where potential victims are more likely to comply with malicious instructions. Consistency and commitment, since people like to be seen as trustworthy by following a promise Third, social proof. Fourth, liking. Fifth, authority. And lastly, scarcity. If phishing manages to convince his target that something is he wanted is in short supply and will not be available afterward, then it's more likely that victim more be comply with the phisher instructions. Regarding user knowledge, education, and understanding, anti-phishing education and knowledge needs to be considered in order to combat phishing. Past knowledge may assist them in detecting and becoming suspicious of phishing attacks. From linguistic perspective, we highlighted that although it's acknowledged that these who are non-native speakers are more vulnerable to phishing than the native speakers, difficulties in identifying errors in language, unfamiliar with written English in phishing content, difficulty in understanding English content, and decreased attention. These factors are affected the phishing victimization. Demographic factors from previous research found that age and gender are key demographic factors that can indicate the level of susceptibility to phishing. Age was also found to have significant relationship. They highlighted that people who aged between 18 and 25 years were more likely to fall into phishing. Also, female has been indicated that they click on malicious links more often than men. In the end, phishing is one of the most common problems. We compared what security organization and researchers have emphasized in terms of phishing types, categorized, training, and awareness message. Also, emotional status have been reported with phishing and linked to phishing victimization. However, emotion can be managed and controlled with anti-phishing training and awareness. Thank you, everyone. If you have any question, please feel free to do it.